Things certainly are turning the wrong way for them. Is this really the end? Unbelievable.
Welcome back, Gale Force peoples. Well, wouldn't you know, surprise, surprise, the sale of the routed track is back on. Go figure. So, for all intents and purposes, I'm going to be cleaning some of this, just more of the decor and diorama up tonight. But let's get a long, hard look at some of the things we've done over the years. She started as part of a flood where I had an old T-Jet track. And my buddy Ernie, shout out to my friend, said, hey, I've got one of those tracks. So we decided to combine them together, try to run our old T-Jets. It was an exercise in patience, but it came to fruition. Then it became me and Sweet Jean putting these tables together, initially 4x8s, two of them, and then bolted them together. We taught ourselves, thanks to YouTube, how to build a table. And Slot Card Johnny's, I think it was. Not the vendor who sells them, but the guy who, him and his brother raced the cars. They showed you how to build a table nice and flat and level, and darn it, me and Jane did it. And then it became bigger. Then it became a 4-lane. No, sorry. It became bigger. No, it became a 4-lane first, then it became bigger. So instead of a 16-foot length, it went to a almost 22-foot length. And then, little by little, we added more and more decor. There's things from multiple people here. MCM Diecast. Keith Horton with those bleachers, these bleachers here. Pork Chop Customs with those bleachers. The trees, many, many trees, and Big Ben right there. And the garage, ironically, if memory serves, pre-race inspection. Oh, I just thought that said Mark's. Okay, so I got it from Mark. Mark's Slot Car Garage, so shout out to him. And all the trees, palm trees too. Oh, looks like we had a hurricane. 3 of the trees are over. I didn't know that. We got some signage made by No Dog Motorsports. See, Tom, I got it right this time. We've had some planes, styrofoam planes, donated by my work that I cannot mention because they don't know they donated them to me. McDonald's, I went and picked up with my buddy Andy, my dear friend who helped me really, put a lot of this together, especially in the beginning stages for sure. And that'll never be forgotten. And then we started collecting die-cast. And somehow, I guess after the McDonald's, we decided to start modeling it, or I started modeling it after a lot of my family. Life events, I guess you can call it, or life people. So the police station is kind of after my uncles. I had an Uncle Bill and an Uncle Jerry, both rest in peace, that were very influential in my honest and good upbringing. I was never a bad kid. Maybe a speeding ticket or two, but nothing worse than that. I never wore cuffs. At least not in the back of a police car. Oh, no, I'm kidding. And then Trans Am show. I don't know. It just started one day. I noted I had like 3 of them. And this white one right here was kind of sort of like mine. I had a 78 Firebird Esprit right after the 69 Camaro that Papa bolted to the tree in the front yard because it was too fast. And he was right, even though I was upset. So I kind of modeled it after that. It became a Trans Am car show of some sort. And then there's one IROC in there because it was funny. And then one of the guys thought it would be funnier to add a Mustang. So we surrounded that by cop cars. So Miata show, that's a given. The Miata show, funny. As of tonight, maybe a half hour ago of me filming this right now, I put it up for sale. I'm not driving it, I love the car. I talk about it all the time. It's going to be tough not being the admin / babysitter. Maybe that's why. But, so that's going. And, the car scene has changed and all that. So I'm enjoying it down here. It's a lot cheaper to buy a Hot Wheels, you know what I mean? Instead of buying a $2,000 turbo. So speaking of turbos, my first new car right there was an 88 Conquest TSI. And there's a representation of my Miata in several forms. That's its most common on the back of a tow truck sometimes. And then we have Sweet Jane right here in her Ford Escape. Wrong year, right color, silver, with pink logos. That's something I did for her. And if you look at the sign in blue in the middle there, it says, just drive up Jane. And if you're old school Gale Force fan, if you're an old school Gale Force fan, you will know that as soon as she opens her mouth at the drive-thru, they recognize her voice and tell her to just drive up because they know her order of all that coffee. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. It's not all I'm going to say. It's all I'm going to say. Papa's Caddy. Wrong year, right color. Ooh, that was a rough one, but that was a nice car, man. Got in trouble in that car a couple of times with a 425 big block. And had some work done. Nothing crazy, just carburetor, but it worked. Could smoke that. They could even smoke snow tires, that monster. Yep. I got my buddy's Monty on there. He doesn't know I have that yet. Little tribute to my buddy Andy, because he had that car. All right, we got our pit stop. Got that idea from another channel, and that was really cool. It adds a lot of fun to it. I know a lot of guys don't do it. That's their problem. We like this. And I know this is a long video. I just wanted to cover this all because, well, theoretically, it might be the last time I see it like this. The shell, the actual shell on top, somehow, Tom from No Dog Motorsports came off of that turn and managed to take out the shell. So in real life, or scale feet, that's about 60 feet in the air. So we don't know how he did it, but he did. He also landed in the bleachers and took out many of our patrons. All right, many of our patrons who were recently revived and glued back together and glued back in. I don't know how long they'll last. It's not really a hearse. That's a London taxi, but it's our hearse. And then you can see the Pink Jane fans on the middle left there. See them all wearing pink? He only took out one of those. And another pink bleachers over there. All right. And then all the people that have been here. My God, I wish I kept a list. But just to give you an idea. You got Mark's Slot Car Garage. That's the Mark F. That's not me. Mayor, that's me. Andrew, that's Mark's brother. You'll note he has the track record at the current, well, not the current layout, but the newest layout back then. Beating both Mark and me. Yeah, so let's see who's been here. There's Tom, or there's his right there. Andy's been here. Kenton had the first person into the fours when we were running 5.5s. We were shocked and screaming at the same time. He actually hit the penalty horn for going under 4 seconds. We didn't understand why it kept doing that because we knew he was flying. And then I realized the threshold was exactly 4 seconds, and he happened to nail it. But we think he actually went faster than that. And then Cousin Jimmy, Sweet Jane. And that record for Sweet Jane is probably a lie. She writes whatever she wants, and that's the track record. I'm surprised she didn't erase Mark up there and add her own. Gaetano is a little guy, friend of our friend Jojo. Our nephew to our good friend Jojo, sorry. And Uncle Brian, who got me into slot cars and Hot Wheels. And then his son, Kevin. So you'll see all those new things. And it's funny. So we had the old layout, which is the original. Then new layout became a slightly different layout. And then we changed it again, called Fin, or Final Layout. And after that, we kind of stopped keeping track of the lane records. There's a bunch of them in there that probably should have been updated over time, but not a big deal. But now the new one is going to be called something else, probably TKO. So we'll see how that goes. And we know other people have been here, right? The original Adam Hurt, dear friend of mine. And all the guys from Pro Tinker. There's Brian right there. Professor Cranky Pants, we were calling him the other day. He kicked me out of the show, by the way. I want to point that out. He kicked me out of his slot car show in Cleveland for a while, even though it wasn't him directly who asked me, but they asked me to leave. So I'm only kidding. Everybody knows that story. Everybody knows that story. But out of all those people I mentioned, my little lap stealing cheater, my Sweet Jane. Without her, this whole track would not exist. She encourages this behavior. I'm not sure if that's good or bad. It's good for me. Bad for business. Bad for my wallet. But yeah, guys, I mean, this is kind of it. Let me give a really good feature. Although this garage isn't going anywhere. Whoops. Let me show you. I'm doing this without the gimbal, obviously, but Gale Force Garage right there. That's something made again by No Dog Motorsports. So there you go, guys. Let me come down the end here. I'm going to flip our sign around. We're not going to worry about our tornado trees. And, let's not forget our ghetto.
In the ghetto, on the cold and gray Chicago moon, and those little baby child born in the ghetto, in the ghetto.
A little Cartman action there for you. So yeah, we got Ghostbusters. I have all those sirens and stuff ready to go. So we have to figure out where to put the ghetto on the new track. New track is going to be 1 foot wider than this one, or rather the table. Well, track, but the table 1 foot wider. And but we have the length at 22 feet now, and we only need 20 for the new one. So that'll just give us some room at the end to do a little more decor and stuff. It's going to have our first crossover. It's going to be right about here with a bridge, and we got to do some tweaking and some nice things on the bridge. I know Tom has some great ideas for that. Our driver stations are going to stay where they are, theoretically, meaning 2 on this side and 2 on the other, because we don't race all on one side. One of the best things we ever did was, put it on both sides of the track. Again, suggested by another slot car person who was doing it on theirs, and guess what? It worked really well. You weren't always worried about somebody moving back, moving forward, and it worked well. So holy smokes, I've been going on for 10 minutes about Gale Force Raceway. Here she is again in clicky-clack form. I'm worried about converting the wiring. That's my biggest concern, because I know how long and how expensive it was to do this one. The new track will probably only have a start-finish line in the beginning, and I doubt this one will be it, because the lane widths are wider. So I doubt this bridge will still exist. Same goes for the pit lane. I don't know if these bridges will be okay. They might be, but they might not be. They might not be. So we'll see. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. It's been 12 minutes of me rambling about the old track, even though it's sitting right in front of me, but it won't be for long. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe and comment. Please comment. I want to hear what you guys want to hear about this. What do you got for me? What do you want to tell me? Be nice. All right, be nice. And thanks again. Cheers.